Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining SEMrush 101. I should be live at this point. You should be able to see my screen and hear my voice. So thank you for syncing for SEMrush 101 this afternoon. Oh, thank you for joining SEMrush 101. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so we should be live. It looks like I have 11 viewers in here. I logged into YouTube. So just note, I do very much encourage an active webinar. Please use the chat to ask questions, provide feedback, or just ping along the way to make the webinar a little bit more unique to this day. So without further ado, we'll get started. On my screen is bikesdirect.com, and I'm looking at a domain overview. Bikes Direct will be our subject today, and I'm going to start in domain analytics. You see in domain analytics here, I'm looking at a high-level overview of competitive intelligence. What drives traffic to this website via organic search? What about their paid search strategy? How do they obtain traffic via Google AdWords? What about their backlinks portfolio or their display advertising? So our domain analytics in SEMrush is where you'll get to know yourself and those keywords making up your own search strategy, or of course your competitors. Which keywords are you overlapping with them with? Which ads are they running? So on and so forth. That will all be answered within our domain analytics. So we'll take a look. I'll drill into organic research for Bikes Direct. I see they rank for 21,000 different keywords. So in that list on the organic research positions report, I'll have a look at those 21,000 keywords, get a good feel for what's driving traffic to this website today. What are the keywords most contributing? What other keywords might be ranking on the back end of page 1 or the beginning of page 2 that could start contributing more traffic for my own website or that of my competitors. So this will help me really get to know Bikes Direct from an organic report. Beach Cruiser is a good example. Of course, they rank for their branded keywords, but here you see they rank for Beach Cruiser in the 11th position on Google per our last update on March 20th. So what does this mean? Well, this URL shown here, Bikes Direct's product Cruiser Bikes, ranks in the 11th position on Google for this term with an estimated search volume of 22,200 searches per month. So based on that search volume, we estimate that they drive a good amount of sessions to their site, about 1% of their total site traffic from this keyword ranking in the 11th position. So this really helps me understand which keywords are most contributing to bikesdirect.com today, so that I can get a good idea as to where we might have opportunities, which keywords I should be using that maybe I'm not, so on and so forth. Okay, so from the positions report, I'm going to look at position changes. This is a good opportunity to show you our historical data. Just a quick note, if you're a new user or a prospective user of SEMrush, our historical data is available on our Guru plan and above, and is available as far back as January 2012. That way, if bikesdirect.com had a really successful Black Friday with online selling last year, I could run this report back to October of 2018, that would be, to get a feel for what was working at that time for this website. Maybe I'll look at this report for advertising. Maybe I'll look at this report, like in this case, for organic presence. So this report will show me the new keywords they started ranking for in a given month, keywords they were no longer ranking for in the top 10 pages of Google, as well as keywords that moved up or down for the website. So if traffic spikes in 1 month or you lost traffic in a given month, the historical data will help you understand which keywords would have positively or negatively contributed to that traffic gain or loss. The competitors report will help you understand who competes with Bikes Direct from an organic perspective, or who competes with Best Buy or whatever domain you might choose to query in SEMrush. In this case, I can see Bike Island and BikeShopWarehouse.com are competitors based on common keyword overlap. So there's a lot of different keywords that both of these domains are sharing in Google. And that may lead you to our domain versus domain report, which will show you exactly what keyword gaps exist between yourself and a competitor. So I'm going to pause on this report 1 second. I am going to get into this, but I didn't mean to get to it just yet. Okay, and lastly in the organic research piece is the pages report. Pages report helps me understand which URLs are best driving traffic to bikesdirect.com. So instead of looking at their portfolio from a broad level and a root domain level, I could look at their highest performing pages and really the nitty gritty on these pages as well. Which keywords rank for this page and which keywords are driving the most traffic to it? What other keywords might be opportunities for us, as you can see here. So Mercer, Kylo, TT Purple. A keyword with pretty low search volume, but if I wanted to optimize that a bit further for bikesdirect.com, see that's in the 4th position. So there's still an opportunity to garner more traffic from this particular keyword. Pages report can be used to get a more granular look at your subject domain. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time in domain analytics, so I'm going to move into advertising research. This looks very much like the organic research piece I just showed you. However, the keywords we're looking at now are those contributing to a Bikes Direct paid ad strategy and a paid ad campaign. So they're using mountain bike and performance bike as branded term in their paid ads, and you can see the ads in which we crawled and collected. So this report, again, looks very similar to the organic report. The metric you're looking at here instead is CPC, however. So we have volume considerations, monthly search estimate for the keyword, as well as its cost per click estimate. How much would it cost to advertise on the given keyword? So for example, competitive cyclist, 49,000 estimated searches per month with a 22 cents cost per click, should I choose to advertise on this term. You'll be able to see your full competitors ad copies report, which will show you all the different ads they're running, as well as the keywords that we crawled that were contributing to that ad showing up in Google. So what we do is we crawl the keyword, we collect the Google Shopping carousel information, the Google Shopping network, I should have said. We collect the AdWords we see, as well as the organic results and the SERP features for the top 10 pages of Google. So the ad copies report will show me all the different ad copies that Bikes Direct has used, as well as the keywords responsible for that ad showing up on a search engine results page. Furthermore, on advertising, Google Shopping Network I just mentioned, and I will note that on our business plan, this is our 3rd tier and above, included is our product listing ad research, which I believe I just opened. There it is. So our product listing ad research is available on our base business subscription. This is our 3rd tier. It's also available as an add-on to any product. So product listing ad research is for generally e-commerce competitive analysis. How are they using mountain bikes or other terms in a Google Shopping carousel? So just to clarify the Google Shopping carousel, I'll search mountain bike for sale in Google. And here I get the Google Shopping Network results, in addition to Google AdWords, in addition to even local pack rankings. You can see how just farther along the organic results even are. We have a SERP result here for local pack rankings. So because I search mountain bikes for sale, I'm getting those stores, of course, that sell mountain bikes near me that are well optimized for Google local rankings. I will show you our listings management tool for this feature. And then I have organic results. So the PLA ads will cover this here, the Google Shopping Network, which looks at single product pages. Of course, all of these ads drive direct traffic to a product page in which I'm just one step away, or sometimes I can purchase that product right on that landing page there. So it's a very direct e-commerce ad strategy. Product listing ad data is available on our business plan. You'll have your product listing ad positions report, which will show you the keywords they're using again. Now, you don't see a CPC estimate here. You'll see when we last saw this product in the carousel, so 3/20/2019, just yesterday. And you'll also see the copy in which they're using. So here's the product title. Here is the physical link. I can click right to it via the link on SEMrush. And also the price. What is my competitor listing this product for sale at? The PLA copies report will, of course, and you've seen this already, will, of course, show you the product listing ads as well as the keywords responsible, in this case, for these ads showing up in the Google Shopping Network product carousel. If there's any questions about any of these reports I've showed you so far, I very much encourage my users to use the chat on your YouTube channel. You will have to be logged into YouTube, but to interact or ask questions on the fly. I don't see any questions yet. Okay, so I looked at organic research, advertising research, product listing ad research. Notice I'm still in this domain analytics forefront. There's a lot to SEMrush. This webinar is a high-level overview of a lot of information. So it will be available as a recording, of course. We're going to jump into the backlinks portfolio next, and we're still in this competitive forefront of domain analytics. I see a question. Does this tool address voice search results, hits or results via voice queries? If not, does SEMrush have such a tool? So our keyword magic database, Jock, is going to take a look at large keyword database, about 9.5 billion keywords in total. And although there's not a direct icon saying this is a voice search is contributing to greater results in our questions tabs, higher volume for longer tail keywords. So there's ways in which you can seek out voice search results within our keyword magic tool, which I'll point out. Unfortunately, we don't have a report specifically for it or a tag on it, but it's starting to contribute more and more to our data and reports, of course. So I'll be sure to note when I'm going to get into that. Also in domain analytics, I said I was going to go to backlinks next, so let's do that really quick. Backlinks database. So there's a few backlinks tools that I will show you as part of our projects, but for now, this is our backlinks competitive database in which I've got Bikes Direct. I'll take evancycles.com and we'll put in Bike Shop Warehouse as well. I like the overview report. I like to get a beat on domain authority. I got Evan Cycles wrong. 1 second. Okay. I like to get a beat on domain authority first and foremost. This gives me an idea, and let's assume I'm Bikes Direct here. This gives me an idea of, am I able to compete with certain competitive domains? So for example, Evan Cycles got a pretty high authority score. They have more backlinks. They have more unique backlinks. They estimate a little bit higher on monthly search volume via our traffic analytics. So our estimated domain authority is a little strengthier for Evan Cycles. So if they rank second and Bikes Direct ranks third or fourth, that'll look normal to me. Let's take the inverse and say, okay, we're Evan Cycles and we're not ranking as well as Bikes Direct, or better yet, we're not ranking as well as Bike Shop Warehouse. Well, that probably then comes down to page level SEO, in which it's probably fair to think that Evan Cycles should be able to outrank their competitors for some of these keywords because their domain authority suggests is a little strengthier. So maybe they just have to optimize for those keywords a little bit harder. So you want to know, well, what are all the keywords then that Bikes Direct outranks Evan Cycles for? So I'll filter this keyword gap report. Remember, I touched on this quickly earlier, in which now I can see all of the keywords that Bikes Direct is ranking in a better position than evancycles.com for. And maybe if I'm just not using those keywords, I have now a new list of keywords that I could potentially optimize and benchmark my potential against that of Bikes Direct. If Bikes Direct could rank first, I imagine Evan Cycles with optimization and with SEO in mind can push a lot of these keywords closer to the first page. So good to note, figure out who your competitors are and how you could benchmark against them, and then set some expectations via some of their rankings or some of the keywords they might outrank you for. Okay, I see another question. Does this or another SEMrush tool address which type of screen users are using, desktop, tablet, or cell phone? If not, does it have such a tool? So that's a good question. I'm going from the keyword gap report into our traffic analytics tool. I again have to pause and note that traffic analytics is a business plan inclusion at this time. It will soon be standalone and a separate product. For now, it is included as part of our annual business plan or our monthly business plan. Here, let's do Bikes Direct again. I hope that everybody's okay with me staying on the mountain bike topic. And I'm in traffic analytics. This will address traffic type, traffic source, geographic destination of traffic, so on and so forth. We'll put in some competitors. Now, this is not a look inside their Google Analytics account. This is very much predictive analytics. We're using about 200 million devices all over the world to crawl data and estimate this traffic to Bikes Direct and Evan Cycles and some of the other examples I'll put in here today. So we'll do Bike Shop Warehouse and then we'll stop there. And now I have a overview report, a traffic analytics overview report of these three sites. Again, traffic analytics full suite is a business plan inclusion. However, this overview report is included on all of our products. So just food for thought. Now I can see an estimate of monthly site visits. You see Evan Cycles leading the way. Monthly estimates of unique visitor growth. So for example, while Bike Shop Warehouse is holding their own as far as unique visitors month over month, you're seeing Evan Cycles and Bikes Direct both trend down. That could be a sign of Bike Shop Warehouse moving their rankings positively while their competitors are reaping the impact of that movement. Also, you'll get estimates on page visits and other Google Analytics metrics, and as well as an estimated accuracy. The more traffic to a website, the more dead sure we can be of some of these predictions. So the more traffic, the more pinpointed data you'll get. But really, I'm valuing the percentage movements than anything else. How quickly are sites growing or falling, and is this a short-term or long-term trend? With our business plan, you will have historical data. So you can go as far back, in this case, of April 2016 with our traffic analytics. Traffic sources will tell me where is, what did I query first? Bikes Direct traffic coming from. What are the highest impact referral sources by traffic? And I'll look at all of their traffic, direct, referral, search, social, and paid impacts. You can also see where is their traffic coming from. So Jock, you asked about device type. I see here the geographic distribution for Bikes Direct is pretty much all US, an estimated 700,000 sessions per month, 66% or 2/3 of those users being mobile users. You'll see these metrics very much vary by industry. Some industries are very mobile centric, while others like banking and whatnot, where you still use desktop resources, are oftentimes showing higher trending desktop results. So this is a good indication of how to prepare for your audience and on what device to prepare them for. Okay, traffic analytics, again, part of our domain analytics. And I'm going to pause here to note that I'm moving on from domain analytics. This whole competitive analysis thing we just did for the last 15 minutes here, I'm moving now into keyword analytics, and then we'll cover content tools and projects. It's a good time for me to answer any additional questions. So if you have any, please load them into the chat on the fly here. Okay, I'm moving to the Keyword Magic tool. Keyword Magic tool is our largest database of keywords. I noted about 9.5 billion rich across our 140 different country databases. The question was about voice search, so I'll tie that in. But let's for now go ahead and search about, and I want to make sure I cover a broad topic. I think what would be a good one for voice search? If you have any ideas, call it out. For now, I'm just going to use mountain bikes to continue on with my examples. Okay. First best practice I generally apply to the Keyword Magic tool is I start with a fairly broad, and I say fairly broad because I use mountain bikes here instead of just bikes, a fairly broad seed keyword, because I don't want to fail to expose myself to all of the semantics, all of the long tails, and all of the different combinations I could be considering. So in this case, I've got mountain bikes and I got 175,000 keywords, and watch how easily now I can go data mining and narrow this down. I'm going to select best mountain bikes, 10,000 keywords, and drill into that specific list. And now I could even drill in further to this specific list, best mountain bikes 2017, so on and so forth. So it's very easy to narrow 175,000 keywords down to 500 that might fit the bill for you. So I always suggest starting with a broader approach and then making sure you cover all your bases in this list on the left side. Now I'm looking at all of the best mountain bike keywords, starting with volume. Other considerations you're using here, of course, are keyword difficulty. If you don't see a keyword difficulty, you can pop the tool in our keyword analyzer, which I'll do, and update the keyword difficulty in real time. This is a growing database of billions of keywords. So for now, we don't have one. You can, as a user, retrieve it. So keyword difficulty, 0 to 100, closest to 100, most difficult you can expect it to be to rank organically. This is an organic metric for a keyword. We do an analysis, a page score analysis, a domain authority analysis of the top ranking domains to get an idea of keyword difficulty. Closer to 100, the harder it is to rank for. Oftentimes my users will ask me for the untouchable threshold, and it's an impossible question to answer because what really matters is the domain authority of your own site. If you work for Amazon, then domain or keyword difficulty isn't as much of a concern as it would be for a smaller marketplace. So that being said, I advise my users not necessarily to look for a threshold, but now that I'm looking at a list of 10,000 best mountain bike keywords, I can easily filter this by keyword difficulty lowest to highest or highest to lowest. I'm not sure why I would do that, but ultimately I rather look for the low-hanging fruit instead of an ideal number to optimize around. So it's really a best strategy to go ahead and filter that way and go from the ground up if you want to target the lowest keyword difficulty. Okay, I see a couple questions coming through. After my example, I will address them in unison here on the Keyword Magic tool. So I've got a list here of best mountain bike keywords. I might have a list side by side of BMX bikes keywords. And for the fact that I'm optimizing this entire product line, I want to merge some of these custom lists together. When I find keywords I like here, I'll add these two in, and then I'll show you how to find keywords you like. So advanced filters. You can filter by word count. You can filter by keyword difficulty thresholds, cost per click thresholds, or maybe even SERP features. If you're doing local SEO and you want to know what all of the local pack mountain bike keywords are that will trigger a Google local pack result, you can do that. And now all of these I know are going to show up, potentially show my shop in the Google 3-pack. So I'll select a couple of these keywords and we'll put them in our keyword analyzer alongside of our mountain bike keywords. So now that they're in there, I've got a custom list. Notice I can update the keyword difficulty metric for all these keywords in real time. I'll do that quick. I can also build out my list here for my position tracking campaigns, which I haven't touched on yet, but the position tracking tool is a core function of how you track your SEO efforts. You're doing all this research, you're writing new landing pages, you're filling up your blog. How do you track whether or not it's working? The position tracker, of course, will manage all of that. So what I can do is build out my list of favorite or highest potential keywords in the Keyword Magic tool, and then push these keywords right over to my position tracking campaign for whatever location I might have set up. So Bikes Direct, Scranton, Pennsylvania, those keywords immediately go into my rank tracking campaign. Okay, there's a quick tutorial here on the Keyword Magic tool. 5 minutes, I'd recommend watching it. There's usually a link to the user manual of every report on SEMrush. And while I'm on the topic, and then I'll answer some quick questions, is I'm gonna route to our knowledge base. Our knowledge base is fantastic for self-learning. Many of our products do offer a customer success manager, and we do have live US or international customer support. However, sometimes self-learning and the quickest to your answers might be in the knowledge base. If you're looking, okay, what is the listings management tool in SEMrush? There is actually it's a paid tool, so you might want to look at this report before you sign up for it. Here's the listings management PDF. I'm sorry, not the PDF, the knowledge base article. Everything I need to know about how I would use this tool, how I would manage this tool from a setup perspective. What information can I garner from it? And what else can I do? For example, our listings management tool will update your locations via the Yext APIs. It will manage duplicate listings across your citations online. And it'll also aggregate, and soon you will be able to respond to reviews right from the tool. So this can really help local businesses make sure they're optimized with the correct information for Google local search results. I will touch on the listings management tool a little more, but I really wanted to show you the knowledge base. The knowledge base is a great place to go whenever you're stuck or interested in learning more about a tool maybe that you're not yet using. The SEMrush Academy is also focused both on industry best practices tied back into SEMrush. So we have third parties and trusted SEMrush friends to do these courses to teach you both about content marketing, but also using it and doing it from the SEMrush lens. Okay, back to the database. I have a couple questions to answer and then we'll move on. I have a question. Can an SEMrush tool follow a particular individual through anonymous website user visitor to learn his or her behavior? Not SEMrush. No, we can't. We don't do anything on an individual data collection level. What we do is we manage a very large set of keywords and we crawl and we collect data about those keywords. And surprisingly, it builds out a lot of our database and a lot of our tools. But we cannot follow any particular user and understand a particular source, no. Also, please address generally UX or user experience and where SEMrush is going with the topic of UX, which is extremely important. Thanks for your good explanations. Well, thank you for your good feedback. About UX and UI, a little off topic as far as what the SEMrush product is. But as you can see, in a product like ours, the UX and the user experience and the interoperability of our tool is very important for your success. It's a lot of product to take it. We don't have any tools specifically on UX. I've heard a lot about sitemap visualization recently. And I would check out sitemap visualization tools and whatnot to work on your UX. Not as much in SEMrush. There are going to be some site audit reports that will help with that, but no dedicated tools really for it. I hope that was clear. Also, okay, I'm moving on. So keyword analytics, I'm closing that one out for now. Really great keyword research tool with the Keyword Magic tool. Before I get into projects, a big piece of SEMrush and a really personal piece. And I say that because domain analytics and keyword analytics, these are the SEMrush subscription-based tools in which anybody can use with a subscription. Projects are much more custom to your account. They are private to your account, and they manage your reporting and your campaigns and your technical SEO and whatnot, which we're going to get to. So projects are a big piece, but before I go there, I want to stay on the topic of keyword research quickly and move it right into our SEO content template. Now I want to write about the best mountain bikes or about other topics. So I have a good one in here, so I'm just going to stick to that. Forgive me for jumping away from Bikes Direct for 1 second. I have the target keyword term life versus whole life insurance. Now notice, this was not a very broad search. I didn't search life insurance particularly here as a broad topic, but instead, this is the keyword that I ultimately want my page to rank for. First and foremost, this is the keyword that's going in my URL. And right away I can know, especially the high authority of this keyword in these domains is, okay, if I want to rank for term life versus whole life insurance, Well, first things to note is that every single top ranking domain uses this terminology directly in their URL. They have a page dedicated to it, and that is a kind of a non-starter first and foremost. So that's pretty validating from that perspective. See, this is a good keyword choice, ultimately a competitive one too. We also recommend, if you're going to talk about this topic, then you should talk about use references to a life insurance agent or life insurance coverage or buying life insurance or your rate of return, so on and so forth. So these are recommended keywords to use based on an analysis of this top 10. This template is founded and derived from the analysis of this top 10. Also, in this case, very high. We recommend 3,800 words. There's a lot of explaining to do for this piece of content. So don't think you'll do it in a lot of content is much shorter form than that. But here on this topic, do note that you're writing a lengthier piece. The readability has to be pretty good too. Also, top 10 rivals generally use video content. So a lot of things to note, but okay, how do you put this into motion, right? Our SEO writing assistant, which I'm going to go to next, it's available in SEMrush as you see on my screen. It's also available as a Google Doc extension and a WordPress plugin. So there are a few different ways to drive this template into your programs, even outside of the SEMrush UI. So now I have a blank template here, term life versus whole life insurance. Okay, I'm going to make that my title. And now I'm going to start writing this out. Also, I'm going to use these keywords it recommends, like interest rate. Oops, I wanted to take that out of the title. Interest rate. Notice it lit up in green because I use that one of 20 recommended keywords. It's tracking my word count. It's tracking my reading time. Soon it will track my tone of voice. It's tracking for titles, checking for plagiarism. Across our Pro, Guru, and Business Plan, there are different limits as far as the plagiarism checks go. And also readability score. So it's creating a score. And when I get this score, 8.5, 9 out of 10, domain authority aside, I can be sure that I wrote content that is fundamentally aligned based on word count, based on keyword choices, based on structure, is fundamentally aligned with that of top 10 results. So that's the content template and writing assistant kind of working hand in hand. Okay, I don't see any more questions at the moment. I'm going to move into projects now. So this is kind of its own section. I'll go back to the Bikes Direct project. Okay, I see a question about link penalties and whatnot. I will talk about that question when I get to the backlink audit as part of the dashboard. Otherwise, this is a project dashboard. When you're looking at our product limits, one of the limits will be total number of projects. Do note that this dashboard you see on my screen here is the dashboard of one project. This project being an example set up on bikesdirect.com. So this is a single project dashboard for this URL. And I've got a series of tools related to technical SEO, rank tracking, which I showed you. I pushed keywords from the keyword magic tool into the rank tracker, social media tracking, and social media posting. Our social media poster will post to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest. Not yet Instagram, just food for thought. I know this is a big one. Not yet Instagram, however, will send you reminders for your Instagram content. Backlink tools, AdWords tools, and the content analyzer. I'm going to touch on a few of these. So we'll start with the site audit. Site audit is a technical and fundamental crawl of your website. It's a simulation of a Google bot or a SEMrush bot crawling your site and looking for fundamental flaws, technical flaws, best practices, and great things to note. Like, hey, you don't have any links on this page. That would show up as a notice. These are low severity. Google doesn't penalize you for it, but it could be good fundamentals to improve your site navigation and your user experience, which will have a rolling effect on your rankings potentially should you improve those metrics. Warnings are medium severity, generally best practices. This number will often be inflated, but you don't have to change these things overnight. For example, your images should have alt attributes. This very much helps Google image search. You should compress your files, especially if you get into a heavy site, because it will speed up your site should you do good file compression and file caching. You don't have to do it. That's why these things show as warnings. Errors are higher severity. If you have internal broken links, you will have higher bounce rates. If you have no titles on your pages, Google bots will have a hard time determining what keywords this page should be ranking for. So these are really just best practices, fundamental flaws, things that we can be confident could have a negative impact on your rankings should they be prevalent as part of your site. Okay. I've got the, what do I have here? I have errors, warnings, and notices. I've also got some thematic reports. So this is a great prospecting tool. If there are any agencies on the call today that offer these services, this is a great prospecting tool. I can take this report, brand it with my own branding at the guru level and above. The mid-tier and above, you have branded reporting. And I can take this overview to a client meeting and suggest that, hey, you've got a negative health score. In this case, we'll look at this report. You can show them that their health score is 62 and they have 289 errors on their site without, of course, getting into the full report. This can help emphasize the work that needs to be done to get a site to where it ultimately needs to go, to the top of the rankings. The health score here is 62 in this case, a lot of room to improve this site. So we also have thematic reports here, things on measures of site speed, measures of internal linking scores. How well and effective is your site what kind of job is your site doing of driving users throughout the internal navigation of the site? Do pages not have links at all? So on and so forth. I particularly like the site performance report measuring page speed, whether you're on a mobile crawler or a desktop crawler. You can switch between the two and test your page speed across different devices. Okay, I'm looking at the position tracking tool. The position tracking tool tracks any keyword I want. You'll see here I have 102 keywords in here, tracking at the United States desktop level. However, I can track cities, I can track zip codes, I can track countries, I can track on desktop or mobile devices. So I have 3 trackers set up here: desktop, desktop, desktop for Scranton, Pennsylvania, a zip code in North Carolina, and the United States as a whole. These are just some examples to show you how granular or broad you can be. Of course, local SEO, you're tracking locally, and national SEO, you're generally tracking United States desktop versus mobile. For all of the trackers you have set up, you can use our devices and locations report to compare them, but I'm going to show you that in a different example. In the report here, I see my visibility score. This is my rolling visibility score for Bikes Direct for every keyword I have in here. So I can know if in time metrics are trending up or metrics are trending down. Also, I can include up to 20 competitors here to see if I'm stealing my competitors' traffic or how I'm growing and if I'm growing at the same speed of my competitors. Okay, so the visibility here for Bikes Direct is pretty good, and I can see that I have a lot of different keywords ranking first. I'll also be able to see which keyword, which keyword I've inputted, as well as which SERP features this keyword can potentially satisfy. For example, Discount Bikes Online has the potential to rank for site links, and both Bicycle Shop Warehouse or Bicycle Warehouse in the 3rd position and Bikes Direct in the 1st position do satisfy those site link rankings as well. A great opportunity to drive users to specific and different pages across your site right from the search engine results page. In other cases, you might track local pack rankings with our position tracking tool, and I'll show you that. And just to clarify local pack, because I call it local pack, most call it maybe a 3-pack or a Google pack. If I search car wash near me, here I have a local pack result, a map with all of the car washes near me right now. And oftentimes, depending on how competitive this market is, reviews and more information. Unfortunately, if I was a car wash in the area I'm searching from, it looks like they haven't had to do a whole lot to be even prevalent in this pack. No reviews and whatnot. And some of these are even closed in what's still showing in the local pack results. So to track local pack rankings, I opened the Autobell project. Autobell is a car wash in the Midwest, I believe, or maybe the eastern side. Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, Greensboro, North Carolina, and also Charleston, but look, on mobile in this case. So you can track mobile or desktop. You can compare your locations side by side. That way I know, okay, great, I'm ranking in the local pack as per this icon in Charlotte, and I've got one in Raleigh, but I don't have any anywhere else. So now I know where I really need to focus my location-specific efforts. Also, a good example of the growing the scores here, the visibility score. This will be useful because you'll put these keywords in, and then 3 months later, you're going to check them, and you're going to want to know if my SEO efforts are working. If you were Clearwater Auto Spas here, our orange line, you would see that pretty easily. You can see over the last month, and let's even go back 90 days, just how good of a job Clearwater Auto Spas has done at growing their presence online and where they are today. So over the last 90 days, they've increased their online visibility by 25% for the keywords I'm tracking. Of course, you'd be excited to show your client or your boss that type of metric. And you can see just how good they're doing in the local pack rankings as well. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm going to jump into the social media tools. there's a social media tracker first. You know what, and I actually want to pull this for Bikes Direct. It's just a better example I have loaded in there. And in the social media tracker, I can put all of my competitors, not limited to just yourself here, and collect organic content across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Pinterest. First thing I do is I load in my competitors. For example, I'm Bikes Direct, and I loaded in Evan Cycles, and I loaded in Big Shot Bikes. And I can use this comparison to know right away whether or not I picked some good competitors. And I can see Evan Cycles has a large audience. They're the most active, and they're the most engaging. So I know who to look at. And now I'm going to take a peek at Evan Cycles' Facebook presence over the last, let's do 90 days. Here's all of their top performing organic content. Here's what they've posted, the hashtags they've used, and how their content has performed. You can also see the audience report. How have they grown their audience over the last 90 days? So over the last 90 days, they're actually trending down in audience growth by just 0.2%, but at 159,000 new followers, still really not in a bad place. Activity-wise, over the last 90 days, has not changed. Wow, that's pretty dead on. Let's just toggle it. And you can see over the last 60 days, they're actually posting a little bit less frequently. However, actually not however, a little less frequently and a little bit less effectively as well by showing these metrics. So I can pull this PDF as a full PDF report, social media report, or with my reports tool, I can build a custom report of all different types of SEMrush metrics that I've covered so far. And you can choose to piece in engagement or audience activity via your social profiles into a more custom built report. All right, let me take a sip of water. We'll look at the backlink tools. I know there's a few questions about the backlink tools, so I'm going to start with the backlink audit. I see, do Google or Bing penalize a page that has a large number of reference or hyperlink text, words that are intended to help visitors with product knowledge? Honestly, Jock, I'm no backlink expert. There will be sources in the backlink audit tool that will tell you whether or not your text and your hyperlink to your anchor text, we call it, is a good or potentially harmful choice. And I'll be sure to point that out. Okay, my website has a page discussing health benefits of red apples with 5 or 10 links about apples in Scientific American, New York Times, etc. I don't believe, it doesn't sound like that's going to be a penalty, but honestly, I want to take a look, and I'm not, unfortunately, the best person to provide that answer with any confidence. So let's look at the backlink audit. So 20% of the links we show here show as potentially toxic. That's a lot, and I'll show you what we measure out as potentially toxic backlinks. The closer to 100, the more toxic we believe a link to be. So what is this? This is the Globe, the world's most visited pages. There are 10 million versions of this page. They all look like this, and they link to virtually every backlink audit I think I've ever done. You can choose to disavow or remove this link. I notice my users prefer to use the disavow tools because it's the most quickest and most direct way to do your due diligence with link cleansing, I will call it. I might choose to move this link into my disavow or remove file. Remove is to do physical outreach, to reach out to the domain, say, hey, take my link down. Just like link building, that may or may not work, right? So you can instead do disavowing. Here's all of the links in order of what we see as topics. Bike's direct list is really long, and yours probably won't have this many bad links, but worth setting up and knowing, are there links that I just should not be associated with or I don't even know I'm associated with? Okay, I'm going to go to the disavow list. I put some new in here, and from this disavow list, I can connect, and I should have noted earlier, a lot of these project tools, when necessary, will connect to your Google Analytics, your Google Search Console. In this case, this backlink audit tool will even connect to Majestic should you have a paid Majestic account. Now I can take this list and I can upload this file to the Google Disavow tool via my Search Console. So all I have to do is take this TXT file that I created, and then I can upload it, connect Google Search Console, and upload that to the Google Disavow tool. And essentially, you're doing your due diligence with your link portfolio. Okay, moving on to the link building tool quick. Where did I go? I lost my project. Forgive me for the poor navigation. Okay, back on my project's dashboard, and we'll look at the link building tool and the content analyzer. I really like the content analyzer. I can't help but point that out. Okay, could you show again how to see my competitors? Okay, that was at the very beginning, but I will circle back through the domain analytics forefront. And also you can see your competitors in the social media tool I just showed just by adding them when you configure the product. Our knowledge base will very much help with that. And you could add competitors to our position tracking campaigns as well. And again, the knowledge base, it's very easy to do in setting that up. Also, just food for thought, folks who are considering SEMrush subscriptions. Our annual business plans all include a customer success management plan, in which includes up to 6 hours of recorded training a year and a dedicated support and customer technical contact. That being said, I can provide that information on our PDF and whatnot, but just wanted to note, if training is a concern or if training is of great interest to a new SEMrush user, our annual business plan ties a lot of training in at no added cost in a cost of the subscription, that is. Okay, let me catch my breath. I'm looking at the link building tool. The link building tool, instead of finding links I'll audit out or try to remove, this is helping me find new quality relevant backlinks. So for example, I put in keywords related to bikes and I put in competitors of bike directs, and I got a long list of different prospects to consider. And these might be blogs, they might be directories, these might be forums. And based on what they are and their domain authority, I can choose and save templates as to what type of outreach I'd ultimately want to do. If I want to do a guest post on, well, PR Newswire is a tougher one, but if I want to do a guest post on allensbmx.com because it's a pretty high traffic bike blog, then maybe I'll reach out with my guest post template. Or maybe allensbmx.com mentioned Bikes Direct but didn't link to it. Well, I'll use my add link to article template to reach out. And now that'll move into my in progress folder. What this does, folks, it doesn't build backlinks for you. Backlink building is still I don't want to say tedious, but a time-consuming part of SEO, and it's a low success in a lot of times. So what this tool can really help you do is streamline and unify your backlink building efforts, and honestly, do a lot more of it in a shorter amount of time. So now I've got all of my links in here. I'll go ahead and load my add link to article email for Allen's BMX, and I'll go ahead and email the info at Allen's BMX and data at Allen BMX. And maybe even that one too. Maybe that's Allen. And then I'm going to ask him if I can get a link to that article on his page. I'll provide a link to that page and I'll load that template. I'll connect my mailbox, as you can see here. And then I can move on to the next opportunity. So this could really speed up my link building efforts. Okay, and the last one I want to show is part of projects is the content analyzer. Really, this last one here, bottom right, I'm going to show it from the lens of the knowledge base one more time. And is a really powerful tool for getting a grip on your existing pages and how they're performing, and if they need love and if they need a refresher, and maybe you'll even use this tool for your competitors as well. So let's query the content audit. I really like this tool. It will connect to your Google Analytics. And let's do the content audit manual. And here it is. So how do you configure the content audit? Well, I'll select a group of subfolders or a subfolder list from my site. So let's just say it's bikedirects.com/mountain bikes / and all of those particular product pages. Now I have an organized list of those product URLs, and I have it segmented into pages that are 2 years old with no traffic, pages that are 1 year old with limited traffic, pages that are higher performing, and I have a dashboard of what's working and what's not. So now I can start creating myself a workflow. On the dashboard will be each of those URLs we audited. We will look at word counts, last update, meta description, and header tag. We will also connect to Google Analytics if you so choose to get page level data. Social impact can be shared as well. Where is this content getting shared and on what sources, and is it earning backlinks? So this is very useful for getting a grip on your content as a whole and looking to see what's performing and what's not. Also, if your competitors are a lot further along in SEO or a lot better at SEO than you, you might want to set up a project so you can take a look and see, what are my competitors using in their meta description, or what headers do they use, so on and so forth, and follow some best practices. Okay, I'm going to show one more tool. That's the listings management tool. I'm going to answer questions. We can take a peek at the prices page. If you're a new user of SEMrush, I'm more than happy to send you a free trial. I'm going to put my email in the chat right now. Please ping me if you want to get a free trial started, and I will, within the next 24 hours or so, follow up with all of my attendees on the webinar today to make sure you've got what you need. Also, as part of SEMrush 101, we offer a 20% discount on our annual plans. You won't see that pricing online. You'll see about a 17% discount. So with this, you can certainly ping me. I'll know you're part of SEMrush 101, and we will offer a 20% discount with our annual plans. And they will potentially include training as well. Okay, I have a couple questions, and then I'll use the listing management tool. What SEMrush tool addresses the strength of alt tags for images for disabled website visitors, and generally what can I do to write the very best alt tags? Unfortunately, we don't. I've had that question twice in the last couple of months about alt tags for maybe visitors who are blind and whatnot. Unfortunately, again, our tools aren't built for those resources. There might be some good ones out there. I don't know any off the top of my head, but SEMrush isn't going to be the greatest fit for that in that regard. Okay. Where am I going? Listings management. Last thing I'm doing today is I'm going to audit a business, and I'm going to audit my brother's construction business just because it's on the top of my head. 18202, 548 Hillside Drive. And what I'm doing is I'm running a quick audit for the agencies on the call or those who offer SEO services. Another great prospecting tool. Is this business information accurate across the web? Because I talked about local pack rankings, and oftentimes people ask, well, how do you do local SEO? Well, first and foremost, a backbone of doing local SEO is making sure that Google trusts your business information. And you might ask, well, I've got it right on Google and I've got it right on Facebook, and I don't care about any of these other directories. And I understand that you and I may not search on insiderpages.com for business information or the Chamber of Commerce. But what happens is the web is machine to machine. Okay, Google is machine learning and Facebook is machine learning, and so are these other directories as well. So although you and I may not use these directories, the web of information does cross-reference them. So if Chamber of Commerce changes your business information on a user suggestion, I'd bet a good amount of these smaller directories might rely on Chamber of Commerce information and then simultaneously change your business information in time as well. So listings management can help you understand, for starters, where is this business information correct? Notice I intentionally did the phone number wrong to show you where it would flag as incorrect. Now I can use the listings management tool, which I showed a little bit before in the knowledge base, to distribute this information across the web, make sure it's accurate on every one of these directories listed, and then I can manage that business information from that point forward as long as I maintain the access on this account. Our listings management tool is $20 a month per location. So if you have 3 restaurants, you might use 3 listings at $60 per month. It is powered by Yext. Yext is a leader in this business for listings management. Our products are Yext-powered products, so this business information is spread and managed by Yext via the SEMrush interface. Okay. If any questions about the listing management tool, I'll wait for them to come through. I see one more question in the Q&A. Does SEMrush have any sort of service programs, anything to help with clients choose the best WordPress templates? Unfortunately not. Our only relationship with WordPress is our SEO writing assistant, which offers a WordPress plugin. SEMrush is offered on monthly or annual subscriptions. Monthly subscriptions can be canceled at any time. You have our monthly Pro, Guru, or Business, or we can build out custom subscriptions. For example, I talked about product listing ads, not included on the Pro, but could certainly be included as an add-on in the Pro. So there's a lot of different ways to customize the right product for you. Again, these products are available on monthly or annual subscriptions. Annual subscriptions you can save 20% on. So we will beat the pricing you see online. Also, our annual business plan includes our full customer success management suite. So the customer success management PDF I will send to all my viewers today. It will give you kind of like this was, but much more industry specific, much more user specific, up to 6 hours of training per year on our annual business plan. So food for thought there. I will follow up with all my attendees with more information about that, or you can email me at my email provided here in the webinar chat. That being said, I think I answered all the questions. I'll let everybody get back to watching March Madness 10 minutes early today. And I thank you very much for joining SEMrush 101. I will be in touch, and I hope to answer any more questions or get on a call with you and help you use SEMrush to your most benefit. So thank you, folks, and we'll talk to you soon.